see that so many families here together tonight, and it's awesome to see that families gathered together, worshiping together. And I hope that this is a peaceful moment for you to be here together, that we can come together, we can worship, we can focus on Jesus and the meaning of Christ in Christmas. With this many families here, I will guess that some of you got here by the skin of your teeth. That some were dragged along, some were rushed along, some are playing nice so that they can get to the dinner afterwards or whatever. Family drama comes along with Christmas for more families than not. This is reflected in Christmas movies. Outside of the Christmas rom-coms that they crank out every year, there's basically 3 Christmas movie plots. There's Scrooge. Somebody doesn't like Christmas, and then something happens to them so that they discover the true meaning of Christmas. There's somebody has to save Christmas because there's a threat to Christmas somehow, and somebody's going to save it. And the third is just a general family drama. There's family drama around Christmas, and that's the third plot. Home Alone has all 3 elements, right? He didn't like Christmas to begin with. Everything was bad, and then he has to save Christmas from the thieves, and then there's family drama all over. And when Kevin wakes up when his family has left without him, he wakes up and he realizes he's home alone, and he says, "I made my family disappear." And then he smiles and said, "I made my family disappear." He gets excited, right? I trust that you aren't here with that Christmas wish here tonight, that your family would disappear. Because Christmas is a time when we hope for better. That Burton Hills writes, the best of all gifts around any Christmas tree is the presence of a happy family all wrapped up in one another. To many, Christmas means family. And this Christmas season, we've been looking at what Christmas means to different people. Christmas, of course, we think of Christmas we talk about Christmas means Jesus when we come to church, but many people, Christmas has its own meaning. They've come up with their own meaning that is meaningful to them, and family often tops the list. So what are we looking for at Christmas when we say Christmas means family? How does family make Christmas meaningful? Catherine Pulsifer writes, when we remember a special Christmas, it's not the presents that made it special, but the laughter, the feeling of love, and the togetherness of friends and family that made Christmas special. The idea of family is the idea of coming home. So what do we want when we come home in family? First, we want a place where we're welcomed. We want a place where we're welcomed. It's amazing how long you can be gone and just sort of show up and be with family. And you find the door is open, that you're invited, that you're wanted. You also want a place where you're sheltered, where your needs are met, where others provide rest from the pressures and pains of this world. We want that sense of security that comes both from things like hospitality, the home, the food, the familiar faces, and the direct decorations and all that comes with that, and also the sense that you belong, because home should be a place where you are accepted. Home should be a place where you're accepted. We want to be a place where we could be our authentic selves, where people love us as we are, where we're connected to other people, where we belong, where we're part of something that is good and something that is lasting. A place where you are known and a place where you are loved. We want to come home to a place where people see us as we are, where we don't have to explain ourselves all the time. And not only that, we are loved most by the people who know us best. And finally, home is a place of shared history and shared joy. You ever find that when you get together with family, you tell the same stories over and over? You swap remember when stories, and the shared memories that you have together gives you shorthand for easy jokes, where you can just say something and the whole story is behind it and everybody laughs. You know, as a family, you say, we've been through so much together, and we're able to sit in the joy of that shared history. It's no wonder that we long for such a place where we're welcomed, sheltered, accepted, known, loved, and have a shared history. It's like we're made for it. It's because we are made for it. That's why so many say, I'll be home for Christmas. We're seeking that. The song says, please have snow and mistletoe and presents, please. But what it's saying is, please have the familiar so that I can come home. But as the song says, often we come home only in our dreams. The reality of family often still leaves us longing for more.
It's Christmas time again this year. Can't believe it's already here. Ain't bought a single thing, oh dear. I'm so far behind. I like to get my shopping done before the lines get long in all the stores. I'll spend more than we can afford, but hey, it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time again, you see. Let's go pick out the perfect tree. Is it leaning left or is it just me? Oh hon, it looks just fine. We'll hang the tinsel, string the lights. These ornaments will take all night. It's a lot of work, but that's alright. It's Christmas time. We'll eat too much and swear again. They come New Year, we're getting in the best shape that we've ever been. But we know we're lying. So pass the pine one more roll. Pass me that remote control. Oh, looky here, I love this show. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time, who's at the door? I'm sure there's room for 7 more. We'll make some pallets on the floor. That'll be just fine. The turkey's done, pull up a chair. Grab a hand, let's say a prayer for all those soldiers over there. You know it's Christmas time. We'll wrap the gifts in green and red. You kids get back up in your bed. Santa won't come in his sled. He'll just fly right by. Then we'll wake up in an hour or two to Mama, look, this one's for you. Oh, I love it, hon, I really do. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time again, you know. It hit me just an hour ago. It ain't about the mistletoe. Let's keep that in mind. It's about the star that led the way. The baby child born that day. It's 'cause of him we all say it's Christmas time.
We all want that laid-back, comfortable family Christmas from that song, where the welcome is unlimited, we're accepted and known and loved, and the laughter comes easy and often. Carol Nelson wrote, "Christmas is a time when you get homesick, even when you're at home." The reality is that our families often fall short. The welcome wears out a little faster than we'd like. We're not really accepted, not really understood. Love can seem conditional. Drama can overshadow things. And we can leave Christmas gatherings still feeling homesick. And that's because the pressure we put on our families to make Christmas meaningful, that with the pressure that we put on our families to be the meaning of Christmas is too heavy a burden for your family to bear. So I want to free us from that this evening. Your family is not and will not be perfect. This Christmas isn't going to be perfect with your family. Your family cannot fulfill all the needs you have for home. But Jesus can. Jesus brings the promise of family and home that we long for. Galatians 4:4-7 says this, "But when the time had fully come, God sent His Son, born of a woman, born under law, to redeem those under law, that we might receive full rights as sons. Because you are sons, God sent the Spirit of His Son into our hearts, the Spirit who calls out, 'Abba, Father,' so that you are no longer a slave, but a son. And since you are a son, God has made you also an heir." It says when the time had fully come, in the King James it says, "in the fullness of time, He came, born of a woman." He came at just the right time. He was born as a baby. We celebrate that because it shows that He was willing to become a baby for us, willing to identify with our humanity. Hebrews says He took on flesh so that He would not be ashamed to call you and me His brothers and His sisters. He came as a baby, and He was not welcomed into the family. He was not welcomed into that which was His own. John 1:11-12 says, "He came into that which was His own, but His own did not receive Him. Yet to all who received Him, those who believed in His name, He gave the right to become children of God." He came where He was not welcomed so that we could be welcomed into His family. He was born under the law to redeem those under the law. God was changing the relationship. Rather than coming before God as a subject in the king's court, we could come home to God as our Father. That we might receive full rights as son. When you come home, you have the right to enjoy that home. You know, when you come home to your parents' house or your grandparents' house, there's hospitality. What's mine is yours. This is inheritance rights. It's refrigerator rights. You just go in there, you grab the Coke, you want it, you don't have to ask. And that's what God is giving us. We are provided for. He shelters us. We have security finally in Him. And God, since we are sons, God has sent the Spirit of His Son into our hearts. That means He dwells in us. He knows your heart. He knows your thoughts. And that could be scary, right? That He knows what's going on in your head because, not all of it's great. But we also learn in that the one who knows you best and the only one who truly knows you loves you most. He knows you and He still loves you. He still welcomes you. And He gives you the Spirit that calls out from within, "Abba, Father." He empowers us to know Him. He empowers us to call out to God in heaven as if He were just Dad. This is what we long for in family. To be loved as we are. To be cherished as we are. To be sheltered. To be heard. And the end of this is he says, so you are no longer a slave, but a son. And since you are a son, God has made you also an heir. In Christ, you are fully accepted and adopted into the family. And with this acceptance comes freedom. Freedom to be who God has created you to be. Freedom to be the one that we're not having to perform for His love. Our status is based on Jesus and the grace of God, and it's not earned. So you're free to just love Him back rather than to slave away to earn your keep in His family. Instead, there's joy. At the end, when He came, at the end of the parable of the talents, the servants who knew that they had freedom to just do what God had told them to do, what the master had told them to do, He said, in the end, come and share in my happiness. Come and be a part of my kingdom. Come and be a part of my family. Jesus is establishing a family where He says, come and share in my happiness. He's establishing a family with all the things that we long for. Welcome, shelter, acceptance, being known and being loved, of a shared history and great joy, a place of blessing, a family of blessing. And that's what we're thinking about as we continue to worship this evening.